when you're making really big decisions, it's important that you be careful not to make them from a position of despair, right?
When did you become, kind of fascinated or maybe I like to use the word obsessed, with driven folks like ourselves for that next thing, but that shift between your success and helping others. So when did it shift from, hey, I'm successful, now I really want to help others be successful, and in particular, real estate brokerage, right? Because I think that is something that is specific and niche. So walk us through kind of that transition.
Yeah, well, I would say that there was once I had built out those 10 offices, and this is an important lesson, and it's not necessarily a great moment in my life, but when you're making really big decisions, it's important that you be careful not to make them from a position of despair, right? So when you're down, really down, or when you're in a place of overconfidence. And so one of the things that happened to me during the early 2000s, we were having literally a bonanza in real estate. But in my world, it was like I was in the river going with the current and I was paddling, right? I mean, I was really the top of my game and the top of my industry, one of the top brokers in the country. And so then I decided, how I want to get 100 people out of the rat race and not just myself, right? And so then I went, because remember I had built 10 offices, those are all good and solid. Then I chose to purchase with some other folks 21 offices, and 14 of those needed turning around. Okay, now keep in mind they needed turning around during a time when everybody, I mean, literally the money in real estate was falling from the trees. So these folks that had built those offices had done a pretty poor job. And subsequent to that, the market crashed. And so I found myself in a very precarious position of inheriting 14 challenges, real challenges. And so while my intention was to help 100 people get out of the rat race, what I actually did was put myself in a situation because I was so bold, so confident that I really got myself in over my head at the worst possible time. Fortunately, we didn't have much debt, but fact of the matter is I had to close 6 of those branches. 5 we sold below our basis. We did turn around 3 of those 14. I did get that portfolio back to profitability, but man, a lot of these gray hairs that you see came from that period of time. And so I would say that my legacy of shifting into wanting to make a difference got somewhat of a false start, right? And interestingly enough, when I organized my way out of that situation, I did position a half a dozen people that are now very wealthy with those market centers because I gave them the opportunity to take them over. So there was some real positive that came out of that. And also I would say that some humility that I gained in that process. And so that's wisdom that I've now carried forward into my world today. And maybe that's why I went into coaching, because I felt like, okay, well, now I could dedicate myself full time to making a difference for other people, but not put them at undue risk, nor myself or my family. But that the beauty of EXP, and I'm really only learning this to the extent that I have now that I'm inside it, is that it's like the rest of the real estate industry has a sales job, and we really have the opportunity to create wealth and have a business. But we're not exposed to the broker liability and capital risk that myself and my partners had when we were building the KW franchises. And so in my mind, it's really the best of all worlds, where I can leverage my wisdom now and make a difference for other people, but not put anybody at risk.
So let's
And
dive into
that's,
that a little bit more because that's so well said. And like, so for the agent maybe who's listening right now, who's selling 20 to 50 homes a year, is top of his industry, has built a team out, is considering purchasing, like a Keller Williams office or a Remax office or franchising and or taking over their mentor's office to do that. Walk us through exactly what you're saying, because I think a lot of times that's missed, especially for real estate agents. That thought of liability, running the business, owning the business, and how EXP, we believe is a superior model.
yeah, well, first of all, I would say if someone's trying to sell you a bricks and mortar franchise, run. Because that is not where you want to go right now. And since the Great Correction of 2007-8, we've been in a really uh, extraordinary market. I mean, since 2012, even partly 11, it's been just crazy, crazy good in the real estate brokerage business. And but during that time, interestingly enough, we've seen a couple phenomena that I didn't have to deal with when I owned the brokerages. And so this next correction, in my opinion, is going to be even more severe. And those two phenomena are we're seeing real compression in the commission from the agent to the consumer, with the likes of Redfin and Zillow entering the space. One day Amazon, I'm sure they've kind of got their toe in an affiliate relationship with Coldwell Banker now. But so that's one factor that is affecting the brokerage profitability model. And then there's also been margin compression from the agent to the broker. The agents are getting a better and better deal, even though they're not offering stock and revenue share like EXP does. They're offering a more competitive commission. And so it's basically squeezing the profit out of the brokerage model. The only thing that has those bricks and mortar brokerages still standing is the fact that we've had this crazy market with historical low interest rates. And so once that market cycles, and we're actually frankly overdue for a cycle shift, it's going to be that nominal profit that they've been enjoying will become more nominal, and in some cases, probably not a profit.
Yeah, so well said. And being that you've seen the booms and busts through multiple cycles, through as a realtor, as a owner and operator of franchises within Keller Williams, and have grown those, buying some that went through the bus, having to bring them out. I can't see somewhat of more wisdom to help share that. And I just think it's so missed. And so thank you for sharing that.